War is a profound human tragedy. It touches every corner of our world, leaving behind a trail of sorrow and loss that echoes through generations. So many lives are cut short. So many futures are erased. And yet, we find ourselves returning to conflict again and again. Why does this happen? The answer is not just in our weapons or our politics. It lies in something much deeper, much more personal. It lies in the stories we tell ourselves, shaping how we see the world, shaping how we see each other, shaping how we justify the unimaginable cost of war. We are all storytellers. It is how we make sense of the chaos of life. From the time we are small children, we learn through stories. They give us heroes to admire. They give us villains to fear. They provide a beginning. They provide a middle. They provide a satisfying end. This is a fundamental human need. We crave structure and meaning. They take complicated, messy realities and turn them into something we can grasp. They turn them into something we can feel in our hearts. They turn them into something we can believe in with our whole being. These stories are not just for entertainment. They are the bedrock of our cultures. They are the bedrock of our communities. They are the bedrock of our identities. They teach us what it means to be brave. They teach us what it means to be loyal. They teach us what it means to belong. When a nation goes to war, it is never just about territory. It is never just about resources. It is about a story of justice, a story of freedom, a story of defending our way of life. This story is told on the news in speeches from our leaders, in the quiet conversations we have around our dinner tables. It becomes the air we breathe. The problem is that these stories, as powerful as they are rarely the whole truth. They are simplified versions of a much more complex reality. They smooth over the rough edges. They leave out the inconvenient facts. They paint the world in bold strokes, black and white, good and evil, good. And when we are caught up in the emotion of a powerful story, we can stop asking questions. We stop looking for the shades of gray. This is where the danger lies. This is how the path to war is paved not just with weapons, but with words. Think about that for a moment. Human beings are wired for narrative. We do not think in spreadsheets or statistics. We think in stories. A list of facts can leave us cold, but a story can move us to tears or inspire us to action. Stories speak directly to our emotions. They bypass the critical parts of our brain and connect with our deepest hopes and our deepest fears. A hero overcoming great odds gives us pride and possibility. A villain threatening all we hold dear produces righteous anger that demands a response. A good war story does exactly this. It presents a clear and compelling drama. There is a hero, us. There is a villain, them. There is a noble cause. The story makes the fight feel necessary and glorious. It frames war as a test of courage, a chance for honor, a path to victory. The story is seductive. It gives us purpose. It unites us against a common enemy. It makes us feel part of something bigger. Think of ancient myths. The Trojan War, Achilles and Hector. A template for conflict, filled with brave warriors, divine destinies, epic battles. Focus on glory, not the brutal reality of death. Bloodshed becomes a noble spectacle. For centuries, leaders and soldiers were raised on these tales. They learned to see war through honor and destiny. Fighting becomes natural, even desirable. This pattern exists today. News media frames conflicts the same way. We hear about evil empires, rogue states. Images of bravery drive a push toward victory. Tragedy simplified into drama. It makes supporting war easier because we know how the story ends. We cheer the good guys, without always questioning the full picture. The myth of Achilles is one of the most powerful war stories ever told. He was the greatest warrior of his time, a man of incredible strength and skill. His battles at Troy inspired generations, the ultimate hero of honor and glory. We forget his grief for Patroclus. We forget his towering rage and terrible acts. We forget that his story ends in his own death. The myth of Achilles defines strength and fearlessness, yet hides the human cost. The glory overshadows the pain, the trauma, the loss. When we retell this story, we teach that honor is worth the price. This idea seeps into our culture. It shapes how institutions train soldiers, and how a nation talks about its military. The focus is on strength and success, not on the psychological wounds that remain. This is not just an ancient problem. Our modern war stories do the same. Think about recruitment videos. They are like movie trailers. Helicopters at sunset, tight-knit teams, confident faces, powerful music. The message: adventure, heroism, a happy ending. But not the long separations from family, not the fear of a firefight, nor the grief of losing a comrade. Narrator, VO. We see the soldiers, but not the people inside the uniforms. Narrator, VO. We see the mission, not the moral compromises it demands. Narrator, VO. The flawless hero creates an impossible standard. Narrator, VO. It makes it harder to listen when soldiers return with different stories. Confusion. Narrator, VO. Fear. Narrator, VO. Regret. Narrator, VO. When reality does not fit the myth, we turn away, and they carry the burden alone. Narrator, VO. So yeah, that's the hard truth. Narrator, VO. A story told once is just a story, but a story told 1,000 times can become something more. It can become a belief. It can become a fact. When institutions, like governments, news organizations, military branches, repeat the same simple narrative over and over, it starts to feel like the only possible truth. This is not always a conscious conspiracy. Often, it is the easiest way to communicate a complex idea to many people. A simple message is a memorable message, and a powerful one. Think of it like a path across a field. The first crossing leaves only a faint line, but repeated steps trample grass, compact soil, and form a permanent way. It becomes the natural route. Stories work the same way. A simple narrative repeated by leaders, echoed on the news, shared on social media, carves a deep channel in our collective consciousness. Soon it is hard to imagine a different way of seeing. The process hides other possibilities. It hides chance and error in every real event. It hides peaceful options that might have been. It hides the humanity on the other side. Us versus them erases nuance. The enemy stops being people with families, hopes, fears. They become a single monstrous entity to be defeated, making violence easier to justify. Over time, these stories embed in identity. They are taught in schools, commemorated with holidays and monuments. It is not just the public guided by stories. Planners live inside narratives too. They create scenarios, plans that read like stories. Characters, our forces and the enemy, a plot, operations, a desired ending, victory. Useful tools to anticipate and coordinate. But neat on paper can seduce. Everything seems covered. Every move has a countermove. The path looks clear. An illusion of control follows. Scripts begin to feel predictive, not just possible. The world rarely follows the script. Historians call this the planner's fallacy. Before World War I, great powers had intricate mobilization plans, logistical storytelling. They specified who moved where and when. When crisis struck, leaders turned to scripts. Plans became machines carrying them to a war few truly wanted. We've seen the pattern since. A gripping threat story takes hold. A plan promises swift, clean success. Assumptions go unchallenged, risks downplayed. The story overrides caution. Reality refuses the script. Costs mount. If powerful stories can lead us into war, then different stories can lead us toward peace. Not all narratives need heroes, villains, glory, battle. There are quieter, slower, more complicated tales of the true cost. Stories that give voice to victims, show lingering trauma, reveal moral gray areas. Peace narratives aren't as loud, but they matter. We're drawn to drama, action, clear resolutions. Averted crises don't thrill like raids. Slow rebuilding lacks blockbuster punch. Peace stories require patience, empathy, and comfort with complexity. So, what can we do? Become conscious consumers. Who is telling this story? What is their purpose? Whose voice is missing? Seek different perspectives. Read the challenges of official narratives. Find small human details. Critical listening is powerful resistance. Support the storytellers, champion writers, filmmakers, artists, journalists. They create spaces for empathy and reflection, helping us see humanity in those we're told to fear. Stories will always be powerful. They are how we dream, how we connect, how we decide who we want to be. We cannot and should not escape them. Story power is a tool, It can build or destroy. The choice is ours. What we hear, believe, and share. Hope lies in stories of shared humanity, not in those that stoke difference. Choose questions over easy answers. Highlight the peacemaker's quiet courage over the warrior's loud glory. Simple, dramatic conflict stories tempt us. They offer clarity and purpose. We must learn to resist. Train to see a fuller, more honest picture. This work starts with each of us. Teach kids to think critically about movies they watch and games they play. Challenge one-sided accounts. Seek windows into unfamiliar lives. Small acts weaken old war myths and make room for new growth. Wars are not inevitable. They are human choices, shaped by the tales we tell. Change the narrative, change the outcome. We must become mindful storytellers and discerning listeners. Have the courage to turn away from seductive conflict tales and embrace harder, more hopeful stories of connection and understanding. This is where our hope for a more peaceful world lies, in choosing stories that celebrate our shared humanity. Choose stories that ask tough questions over easy answers. Prefer the peacemaker's quiet courage to the warrior's loud glory. If we want different outcomes, we must tell different tales. For in choosing a better story lies our best chance to stop the next war before it begins.